What's up? What's good? Wolf's here, and we just had a huge PS5 reveal announcement stream happened over on the Sony PlayStation Twitch channel, and yeah, everybody was co-streaming, everybody was restreaming, everybody was waiting so long to see the PlayStation 5, to see what it looks like, and all that stuff. But with that came a very huge announcement trailer for Resident Evil Village. Now, does this mean it is not Resident Evil 8, but this is the tie-over game for Resident Evil 8 going into Resident Evil 8 story? To me, we definitely need something that ties over the storyline from Resident Evil 7 to what Resident Evil 8 will be, or maybe Resident Evil 3 remake to Resident Evil 7. So, what does this all mean? Well, let's deep dive into the developers talking about it real quick. And we're going to see just what the developers have to say. I'm actually, after just checking Twitter real quick, I'm actually kind of thinking this might not be Resident Evil 8, but this is like Resident Evil 4 remake, without it being Resident Evil 4 remake. Like, they wanted to remake Resident Evil 4 so much that it just turned into not being Resident Evil 4. But there was also some internal stuff that I had heard before. What the other one that was called? But yeah. So then this got turned into a fully fledged Resident Evil title. So this was supposed to be something else, and then it got turned into a fully fledged Resident Evil title. That's all good. It's fine. I'm just hoping. So my prediction was we'd get a VR Resident Evil that would tie over everything over to Resident Evil 8, like the actual Resident Evil 8. This might be the VR, but like, so if you don't want to play in VR, you can play it in first person. But if you have a VR system like PSVR or whatever, then you can play it in PSVR. I think that's what this is. I don't think that this is a fully fledged Resident Evil 8. I think this is going to be like the tie over into Resident Evil 8, and Resident Evil 8 is going to be the third person camera and everything else. This is just tying up Ethan's story. Ethan and Mia, and showcasing that they have a new baby, and maybe also bringing in Wesker to show everybody who the hell Wesker is. I think this is going to be a side game that leads into Resident Evil 8. But everybody's taking it as Resident Evil 8 just because the 8 is in the logo, but that's because it's a tie-in. It is a side game going into Resident Evil 8. I think everybody's going to be kind of confused with all this marketing type of stuff and everything, but let's get into it. Let's hear what the developers have to say. The story comes to a close, meaning Ethan, we think, could be something else.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her
That's
father,
Mia.
who was hard at work.
Ooh, I'm watching this in 4K.
But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty.
I will say, if this is just a tie-over game going into Resident Evil 8, I am 100% alright with that. Because I really want this thing to be like the VR game, like I said, but I don't want this to be like Resident Evil 8. I want to see Resident Evil 8 do something so crazy that it feels next gen. So if this is just a tie over, then I'm fine. I'm fine with like first person game and all that stuff. Like I said, if it gives an excuse to have something else in VR, that's awesome.
Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free of Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
Into the forest deep.
What is it with that creepy story?
It's just a local tale.
You're really into that stuff?
Quit being so paranoid.
No! Friendly!
Wait, this is before Resident Evil 7. This is back when Mia and Ethan were just married. Somebody's been babysitting their kid. Maybe, I don't know. Speculations.
No! Friendly!
Frame rate on this is kind of rough.
Who sent you? What's going on? They're coming.
This is like really epic. Feels really good that it's really epic. Very Bloodborne-ish. I'm loving that. Very Resident Evil 4. Like I said, I think this is going to be the Resident Evil 4 remake that everybody wanted. But they're also given, for everybody who doesn't really care for Resident Evil 4, like, I don't, it's an alright game. I'm just not in love with it like some other people are. Like, there's this big following for Resident Evil 4. I'm like, it was just really fucking corny to me. A little too corny, I mean. Resident Evil is definitely corny. It has its moments of like, okay, yeah, sure. But Resident Evil 4 was just like, it was just a little bit too, over the edge of just like, okay, that was try hard. Again, Leon with his jacket and everything, iconic look, love it, but oh no, blah, blah, blah. And then like the little shithead that's like always coming after you and everything. Just seeing this in like full quality. Also notice, what is that? 5, 6, 7, and then 8.8. I'm gonna, like I said, I think this is not Resident Evil 8. This is like chapter 1. This game might be actually kind of short. This might be like another Resident Evil short, very short game. I'm gonna say that this might be like episode 1 of like maybe 2 or 3 that leads into the full Resident Evil 8 with like just 8. Village episode 1 and then 2, 3 that way. Just like, because they were just like the episodes of, sorry, I called it Retribution, that's the movie. Revelations. So just like Revelations had kind of like the episodic stuff going on, and you had Revelations 1 and 2. This was supposed to be the third one, and then it switched up development into like a fully fledged game. So what I'm thinking is, since it's like .1, I'm gonna say this is episode 1 of like maybe like a 2 or 3 episode thing of a trilogy of like the Village is going to be a trilogy that is the Resident Evil 4 remake. So the first thing is the Village, and the next thing is the Resident Evil 4. What did you go into? It was the Village, and then I think you had a mansion or a facility of some type. And I've literally only played Resident Evil 4 once because I just didn't really click with it as much as other people. And then it was like, or the island. And that's what it was. Yeah, the Village, the island, and then you had, and then the big fight with, yeah, jeez, it's been so long since I played Resident Evil 4, because I just, like I said, I just didn't click with it. That's why when everybody's like Resident Evil 4 remake, I'm like, well, if they redo the story, maybe, so I can, cause personally, just so I can click with it a little bit more, and people that were find it to be just a little too over the top of like, that's a little try hard with the corniness. This feels like it like knocks on that door of like, this is just cool now. Cool. All right. So no, okay, let's go just a little bit farther.
Chris? Sorry, Ethan. Why?
Again, I am, so I said this on stream just a little bit ago, but I think that's Ethan's parents. I don't think, unless that's way in the future, unless that's Resident Evil, so that's Mia and Ethan and Chris is so Resident Evil 8 might actually be older characters. But Resident Evil 7 episode 1 takes place like years before, and that's how they bridge the gap. I really kind of don't want the characters to be older though, because we just got really cool characters, but I can see. So here's one thing that I was thinking of is, how are they going to do going forward? How are they going to do when you have the actors and everything, and they're all face scanned in? And I don't know if they were really signing up for multiple games for, you know, the ones that played Leon and Claire and Jill and all that. Like Jill is I think a Russian model or something like that for her face capture. Are they going to keep calling her back in to do multiple games? So maybe they are trying to get away from Leon, Chris, Claire, Jill, and everything, which would, oh man, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for the fan base if that is what they're kind of going for. Because I mean, they're iconic characters. We all love them. Everybody who's newer fans of the franchise also that you know didn't play them back in the 90s, like me, we just barely kind of just got fully engrossed in the characters, and to see like maybe they might go away because they are older and everything. I mean, that's a tall order to make a whole new cast of characters that are as beloved as the characters that we all know and love. So it's like, so yeah, I don't know. My gut feeling is saying this is not Resident Evil 8. This is like episode 1 of however many that lead into 8. But this is like the prequel to 8. So this is as I was saying, a VR prequel to Resident Evil 8. So I don't think I was too far off from the money. I wasn't believing. I was hoping that the full thing of like first person game and this and that stuff wasn't fully true. I don't think Resident Evil 8 is going to be first person. I still firmly believe they're going to go third person with Resident Evil 8 because third person games sell way better. First person shooters, people have a hard time sometimes playing them because they get motion sickness and everything. If they're great for the VR aspect, so they can do another VR game, which is really awesome because I love the VR thing in RE7. I definitely plan on going back and playing it again. But yeah, I don't know. Something's just telling me that this is not going to be. Something tells me that this is not going to be actually Resident Evil 8. This is going to be like episode 1 leading up to it. I mean, look at how old Chris is looking in it. Maybe it's just this is the new look of Chris. He's not old. It's just way more. It's probably the beard and whatnot, and like the low lighting makes his hair look a little grayish. It's just you know, it's because blue filter lighting and everything, which makes everything, you know, it can make. Just the way the scene is set up, it makes him look like old man Chris. There was a developer thing too. Okay, let me search around for the developer thing. Special developer message. Here we are. This is what I want to know.
Hi, I'm Tsuyoshi Kanda,
Hello.
producer on Resident Evil Village.
Hello.
And I'm Pete Fabiano, also producer on Resident Evil Village.
Unfucking believable.
We hope you all had the chance to check out and enjoy our trailer.
Some of you are probably wondering why we didn't just call the game Resident Evil 8.
Well, it's still the 8th in the series, and we're treating it as such. You can even see the Roman numeral 8 in the game logo, so it's Resident Evil 8, just not in name.
Yeah, I like the play on the design and the simplicity in the name. But we'll touch more on that a little later. For now, why don't we just jump in and let viewers know a little bit more about the game itself.
First off, Resident Evil Village will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Steam.
Right, and in line with previous Resident Evil titles, we're using RE engine. That engine.
No current gen release for this, so you have to be next gen or PC to be able to play this. Fuck. So VR is probably out the window. Especially PlayStation, or it might have to be PlayStation VR 2, or you have to get like a fucking Oculus or something. That sucks.
Brought Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5, and most recently, Resident Evil 3 to life. We were able to take all that we learned from those titles, along with our internal development efforts, and optimize the latest version of the engine
That's
for
good.
the next generation of consoles.
That's great.
With the combined power of next gen and RE engine, we can take our developers' vision to new heights. Once again, we're planning a fresh take on survival horror, this time upping the ante on action a bit.
Good.
Realistic graphics and immersive audio, coupled with no load times, will really draw you into the world we've created for Resident Evil Village.
I like that.
Speaking of which, the game takes place a few years after the events of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Right, and it follows the story of protagonist Ethan Winters. Ethan's gone back to living an ordinary life, but of course, it wouldn't be a proper story without a new challenge to overcome. Chris Redfield, a decorated hero fighting against bioterrorism, makes his return, but not in the way you'd think. He's the reason Ethan's life gets turned upside down. Let's take a look at some key art.
You can see Chris looking dark and far more brooding than in earlier Resident Evil appearances.
The last thing worth mentioning in terms of characters here is the village itself.
It plays such a crucial role as the backdrop and setting of the game that we consider it very much its own character as well. Alright, shifting gears, let's talk a bit about the game's design.
You'll notice the familiar first-person perspective from Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. It really helps bring players into the world. It makes them feel like they're Ethan. With the same...
Which is the problem. Capcom, this is the problem. I don't want to feel like Ethan. I want Ethan to be a character. I don't want to be Ethan. Unless I'm playing VR. That's the whole issue with first person in Resident Evil. It's just, no, I don't want to be Ethan. Ethan should not be you. If you're gonna make you into the game, you should not make a character in the game. It should just be you in the game. Pick one or the other. Either you are Ethan or you are yourself. Don't give it both. It just doesn't work.
sense of heightened tension and fear.
Here's a quick look at the game running in engine.
The team is working really hard to create a great experience. You can really see the details, even close up. Let's take a look at the inventory. For players familiar with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, or the recent versions of Resident Evil 2 and 3, you'll be right at home.
Good.
We hope you enjoyed this additional look into Resident Evil Village.
Oh, and here's one more piece of key art. You might want to pay extra close attention to this one.
There's a lot that's being shown in it. So much so.
Well, not to actually put it in the announced trailer. All right, let's take a deep dive look. Getting very close. So it's definitely crows. You know, the crow's feathers, which I would say the witch's thing. It's a baby fetus, looks like to me. This is like what is that called? A litmus test or whatever. It's like vines growing off from it, so the baby has something to do with the virus spreading. And if you look really closely, you can see Wesker's face, and they're laughing at you. I'm fucking with you. Yeah, definitely kind of on track where I was saying. I don't know. The game design of being first person is just throwing me off so bad.
That we debated whether or not to actually put it in the announced trailer.
Take a look and let your imagination run wild.
We are aiming to have more to show you towards the end of summer.
So, until next time.
So it is actually like Resident Evil 8. That's I don't know. I got mixed feelings on this. I think it's going to be really good. I just don't think it's what fans are looking for. Like, it's going to be a good game. It's just not going to be accepted by a lot of fans. I think everybody that fell in love with Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake are not going to like this as much. This is going to be one of these, like, it's going to be an RE6 thing of, like, it's too much action, it's first person. I think the Bloodborne Dark Souls fans are going to be right at home with this. Anybody who's looking for a little more of, like, an action-y horror game which that's what they're trying to go for. But like I said, like yeah, I don't know. I got mixed feelings on it. Anyways, we'll see later on. We'll see more of it. We'll see what the hell happens with it. But for now, I'm going to end the video with saying I am, like I said, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm optimistic about it, that it's going to be a good game. But Resident Evil overall wise, this is going to feel more like a Bloodborne first person shooter than a Resident Evil game. My gut feeling is telling me. I would love it to be an episodic adventure of like this is a lead up to a third person actual Resident Evil 8, but I guess if that's the way they're going, but they said that they wanted to do something. So hold on. What was, I know I just said I was going to end the video, but let me just go back real quick. I want to end, but god damn, Resident Evil is there's so much to unpack, so much to talk about. Where was the logo thing? Right here. Right here.
And we're treating it as such. You can even well, it's still the 8th in the series, and we're treating it as such. We hope you all had the chance to check out and enjoy our trailer.
Some of you are probably wondering why we didn't just call the game Resident Evil 8.
Well, it's still the 8th in the series, and we're treating it as such. You can even see the Roman numeral 8 in the game logo, so it's Resident Evil 8, just not in name.
Yeah, I like the play on the design.
So it's Resident Evil 8, but just not in name, which means that maybe it's this is confusing. Really, it is confusing. Like, so is it the actual fully fledged 8, or is it just something that builds up to 8? We need more information. We need to wait. We need to see what the hell. We need to see what this game is going to actually be, and then we need to see like what the hell is going to be going on with it further. And I know they're trying to explain themselves and everything. I know that they're trying to like be like, okay, dummies, it's Resident Evil 8. I don't know, man. I don't know. I loved Resident Evil 2. I loved Resident Evil 3. Not everybody liked Resident Evil 3. I get it. It was short. You wanted more. I kind of want more also. It was definitely short. I'll give you that. But I loved all the moments that were packed in Resident Evil 3. I loved the whole ride of it. I want more of that. I don't want first person. I don't want Resident Evil 7. I want 2 and 3. I want third person. I want, Spook Fest. I want to see some mods in third person to be able to mod the character to look like different stuff that you can have fun with it that way. The graphics engine looks pretty good. It seemed like a little bit of frame stuttering, but that's early footage too. So they're definitely going to make it look better later on. It could also be that it's the video player on YouTube here playing at 4K. Sometimes you can have the video players are weird sometimes. Games always look better in engine on playing on the console than it does on YouTube. Just keep that in mind. But overall, I mean, like I said, it looks like a good game. It's not what I was looking for. I don't think it's what a lot of people are looking for. It's going to be good, but we want that third person. Like you build us up with this third person gameplay. You make everything so cool, so crazy looking. All these crazy moments with Nemesis and Tyrant and everything of just coming after Mr. X, just coming after you and everything. It's like, and then you just drop a first person here. I was actually damn near on the verge of arguing with people on Twitter saying like they won't go first person with this, but they're smarter than that. It's Capcom kind of almost proved me wrong on that they're not. So we'll see what happens. Some people liked Resident Evil 6, other people didn't. Some people liked Resident Evil 4, other people didn't. Resident Evil 7, it's the same with that also, and so Resident Evil 8 is going to get the same treatment. You either really love it or you kind of hate it. I'm gonna say I'm going to mostly like it and not like some parts of it from the first person point of view thing of it. Yeah, So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, and I will have more Let's Talks in the very near future. I'm trying to keep up with everything. I just got a lot of stuff going on with different channels and everything. I've done it to myself, I know, but if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I will see ya next time.